And we're going to start with making comments, right? So here we're going to say that this is going to be a pricing section over here, and then we're going to copy this one, and we're going to say this is going to be the end of pricing section. Now after that, what we would want to do is, obviously, as always, we're going to write a section, right? So we're going to write a section, and then we're going to say this is ID, and this is going to be, let's say, prices, right? And over here we're going to say a class, and then we're going to say a P5 class, right? So padding 5 class. Now after we have done with that, let's actually create a div, right? And we're going to class, and over here it's going to be container. Now after that, once the container is done, as always, then we need our title, right? So we're going to copy this one over here, and we're going to drag it over here, and we're just going to find it where's the container, and here we're going to place it, right? So now we have our progress, and we're just going to call it this one a prices, right? So this is going to be our prices, and then still within the container we need to add a new row, right? So this is going to be a div, right? We need to check that this is going to be in the container, right? But div class, and over here I'm going to say this is going to be a row. And once I have a row, then I would need to add columns, right? And the first column as I'm going to add is going to have a div class over here, and I'm going to say this is going to be column medium 4, and this is going to have a margin top and bottom. It's going to be 4, right? And you'll see why we're doing that, but just for now, just leave it like it is. And over here we're going to say div class, and we're going to say this is going to be list, this is going to be list group, and this is going to have a text center over here, and then we're going to close this one out, and then we're going to need to start putting a list group items, right? So over here we're going to say div, and we're going to say this is going to be a class, and over here we're going to say that this is going to be list group item, right? And then we're going to say text, and we're going to say this is going to be white, and we're going to say that this is going to be, let's say, background primary, and over here we're just going to place within a over here heading 1, and we're going to say that this is going to be a with a class of padding, right? So padding 2, let's say something like this, and over here we're going to write that this is going to be a basic, right? So this is technically going to be our basic plan, right? So then we have our list group over here, and we just need to keep putting the list group items, right? So over here we're just going to start with the first one, where we're going to say that this is going to be a div, and then we'll say class, and again we're going to put a list group item over here, and once we have that, then we need to have a text, let's say uppercase, right? Text uppercase, and maybe let's make this one a little bit smaller so I can actually, so you can see better and it's easier for me to work. So we have text uppercase, and then we're gonna say font, and over here weight, and we're gonna say bold, and over here we're gonna place within, we're gonna place another H1, and we're gonna say that this is gonna be a free one, right? So this is gonna be free. And now we have a couple of links that we would want to place there, right? So this is going to be another list group item, and basically what we would want to do is add a couple of links as list group items, because we can do that too, right? So here's the link, and over here we're going to say class, and we're going to say list group item, and once we have that, we can have a list group action also. Then once we're going to be hovering over them, they're actually going to be changing color. So list group item, let's say action over here like this, and we're just going to give it a text warning over here, and we're just going to write it like mail, all right, server over here, And now that we have this, we need to copy this 2 more times. This is the first one, second one, right? So this is going to be the mail server. Then we're going to have a web server, right? So we can just delete these ones. All right, so this is going to be, and this is going to be web server, and this is going to be a DNS, let's say hoisting over here. And once we have that, the last thing that we would want to do is actually place a button. All right, so this is also going to be within this list group, and we're going to say that this is going to be div class over here, and we're going to say list group item, you guessed it, item over here, and we're going to say that within this list group item there's going to be a button, right? Button over here, and we're going to have a class, and we're going to give it a class of button, and this is going to have button button secondary over here, and button large, and button block. So we're pretty much using all the classes that are for the button, right? Block over here, and we're going to also use text capitalize, right? Capitalize, something like this. So we close this one out, and let's say we're going to say sign, and over here we're going to say sign up, right? So you can see that I'm capitalizing everything, and you can see how it looks, that it is the background. Background is over here, this secondary color, right? And now we're actually ready to move on and actually add 2 more like this, right? So this was the first one, right? So we're just gonna do this. Just make sure that this is the one that we need, right? Over here, and we're gonna copy this 1, 2, right? So now we have 3 of them. And over here, obviously what we would want to do is add a couple of more options over here, because this is not going to be basic. This is we're going to say that this is going to be a standard. We're going to write standard, right? But over here, what we would probably want to do is add some background color. So I'm going to say this is going to be background secondary, right? So now we got the background color that we wanted. And over here, this is not going to be any more free, right? So we're going to check it out. What we're doing, let's say $10 a month, right? So we have $, then we have 10, then we have over here the space, right? And then we're doing a month. Over here, you can see now this is how it looks capitalized. And what I would want to do is add more sections, right? So let's say I'm going to copy these links, just paste them over here, and then I'm just going to name them a little bit differently. I'm going to say database and support desk, right? So I go back over here and I say database, and over here I'm going to say support desk 24/7. Support desk, let's say 24/7, right? And so then we're going to go to the third one, and over here we're going to write pro, and this is going to be $100 a month over here like this, and we're going to say month, right? And now that we have this one, the only thing left is actually we're going to check it out how we can add over here this button, right? Over here, this one all the way to the right? And you can check it out over here that we have the same thing. You can see that as I'm hovering over, right? This is over here, this action list, right? That we created, list group item action, right? So as we're hovering, as you can see, this is what's happening. But again, what we need is actually adding over here this span class, right? And how do we do that, right? So let's say I'm gonna go over here to the last one, right? So this is going to be DNS, I guess, hoisting, right? And over here, what I can do is I can just write that this is going to be a span over here like this span, and I'm going to say that this is going to have a class, and the class is going to be a float, and I'm going to say right. So this is pretty basic. We're just going to be floating right. After we have added the span, we need to add a font awesome. So over here, we're going to write class. And over here, we're going to say this is going to be ion. And then it's going to be a ion star over here. And then we're going to say that this is going to be outline also. Outline like this. And then we're going to say fa and fa star. And then we're going to say O. Right, so it's quite a long one, but it gets the job done. Text warning over here. And then we're going to save this one. And now we have our font awesome over here. You can see that this is how we added, right? So what I would want to do right now is obviously take the span, and we can add it pretty much wherever we want to, right? So if I go back over here, and I'm just going to say that I'm going to copy this one. So now we need to say, let's say with a web server over here, we just copy this one and over here the same. All right. So now we have all three of them. Now let's check it out how we can make those margins to work for the card to stand out, right? So now you can see this one is just bigger because I added more text over here, right? So that was pretty simple, right? But what if we go over here and we check the toppings, right? Over here you can see that I have the margin, right? For the basic one and for the standard one, right? But if I remove this margin for the standard one and I go back over here, you'll see what happens. You can see that this one goes up on top and these ones goes down, right? So this is how we can actually create more space so our cards look a little bit different. This is going to be it for this section. Next section, we're going to build a footer over here, and then we're going to jump straight away to the nav.